Hi, my name is Abigail Seymour. I'm a child custody and family law attorney in Greensboro, North Carolina. And today I want to talk about 4 things that you can do if you are dealing with the sudden loss of an adult child to opiate overdose or other kinds of addiction loss, perhaps a car wreck from alcoholism, some kind of horrible loss. And you're wondering how you're going to be able to take care of your grandchildren. And I'm so sorry that you're having to go through this. This is a terrible thing. This is happening more and more. We have a lot of cases like this, and the most important thing is to help you get through this. And with all the other things going on that you're gonna have to deal with, this is one of the more basic but most important as far as the custody of your grandchildren. So while this is extra work for a time that you're grieving, this is also a way to keep you focused on some of the legal aspects of custody for your grandchildren. So number 1, the first thing you're going to want to do is gather paperwork about your grandchild. If your child's been living in active addiction, it's hard to know that you may be digging through files in his or her house, you might be looking through boxes, but you're going to be needing to talk to some stakeholders and people with regard to your grandchild, and you're going to need some paperwork to prove your relationship. So you might need not only the birth certificate of your child, which you might already have, but their death certificate and also the birth certificate of your grandchild, so that you can prove that relationship for starters. Because alas, even though there's been this terrible loss, the legal custody of your grandchild actually does not belong to you, even if he or she's been living with you. There is another parent in this scenario, and if your child was in a relationship with somebody who's also in active addiction, the chances are very high that you've not even seen that person for several years, might not even know where he or she lives. However, it is a mistake to think that because of that person's not a part of this case. Oh, he or she's not in the picture. That person has rights, and without knowing where that person is, you won't be able to move forward on this case, and the state will certainly track that person down, and your grandchildren will go instantly to that person, because legally that person's his or her mother or father. So just keep that in mind, that it's not a de facto situation where the kids are going to go directly. The grandchildren will stay with you if they've been living with you, etc. So you're going to need to track down some paperwork with regard to the logistics of all of this, and identification, and maybe social security card of your grandchildren and things like that. The second thing you need to do is find out if there is a case, because indeed, if your child was in active addiction for any length of time while they were a parent, it is possible that the Department of Social Services and Child Protective Services was notified and therefore had opened a case. You would probably know this because you are probably part of it, but sometimes parents have no idea. Maybe it took place and you just weren't aware. So there are reasons for finding this out, because it will affect the steps that you take after learning this information. So you might need to call DSS and go through several people, because it's going to be a big long phone tree, but you're going to try and find out if there's an active case and what's the status of that case, and notify them that one of the parents is now deceased. Let's see, the third thing you're going to want to do is go ahead and try to track down that other parent. If you have a good relationship with that person, let's say, or that person is reachable and either in early recovery or maybe still in active addiction, they might say, yes, I agree, you are the right person to keep caring for my children, thank you. That would be ideal. Either way, you're still going to have to track them down, serve them with this suit, whether it is a continuation of the DSS case or whether you're filing a new suit in family court for custody. You need to find where that other parent is. They are going to need to be served and be part of this process. And so part of that would be to consider filing for custody. I guess that's sort of related to the other piece, but let's just say that there is no DSS case. You call, they say no, or you happen to know that DSS was never involved, that you had intervened prior to their intervention, and therefore you've been the primary caregiver while your child was struggling. Then it is time to consider going ahead to file for custody. Again, the opposing party is going to be the other parent, and therefore you're going to have to serve him or her. There are ways to do that if you truly do not know who that person is. There's nobody on the birth certificate, your child did not know who the father was. There are ways to file a case even if you don't know that information, but having that information before you proceed, whether you're going to represent yourself or talk to an attorney, you're going to want to have all that information ready to share and move forward with so that you can figure out which route you're supposed to take. But that will go a long way to helping you secure the legal rights that you need in your grandchild, because until then you are not the first person to be chosen for that caregiver. As I said, the other parent is the first choice because legally they still have rights. But you also wouldn't be able to register him or her for school, couldn't take them for doctor's appointments. You couldn't, there's a lot of things that people don't really consider that they just suddenly need to be able to do, but legally they are not able to. So hopefully those things will get you started on the path to making the right decisions, to go ahead and take some steps to get started on this. If that was helpful, I hope it was helpful. If it was, please like and subscribe to this YouTube channel and also like us on Facebook. Thanks for listening.